Alright, so I'm back on the old little hot rod Geo Metro today. The sun kind of kicked my butt yesterday, so I brought my canopy out. Keep the sun off of me. But we're gonna... I talked to the customer yesterday. Well, I didn't talk to him, but someone else talked to him for me. And evidently you have to use the broken key to get the ignition to turn. Of course, I wasn't doing that yesterday. So this is actually the key to start it, or turn the key. So we're gonna give that a try. There we go. Alright, so I think this button became disconnected yesterday because all the wires down here are right by the clutch pedal. So I think when my wife was trying to start it and put the clutch in, her foot must have hit some wires down there. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So I have to figure out what's going on with that first before I can do any more testing. So we'll go down there and try to figure out what's going on with the wiring down there. Alright, so I figured out why that button wasn't working. I don't know if you can see down in it. It's going to be kind of hard to see down in here. But he's got the starter wire just kind of tapped into that solenoid wire. I don't know if you can see. You probably can't see. But anyway, the wire's just wrapped around. It's open. There's no solder, no tape, no nothing. And I guess yesterday when the engine was shaking a little bit, it just fell off the starter. So now we're back to the original problem. The broken key is what turns the ignition on inside. So I got that figured out. The button now works. So it'll crank over. So now we'll move over to the fuel problem and see what we can find on that. All right, so we went and tried to get a relay for it. Nobody has it. Everybody has to order it. The cheapest one we could find was $50. So I took the cover off the factory relay, and I'm able to press down. Sometimes the magnets or the springs get loose, or you got to open in this wiring and this winding here. What it is on this one is it doesn't have enough power to pull this contact closed again. So if I push it closed manually with a pick, the car will run. So it's 100% this relay. You know, sometimes you can get away with testing these like this. You just press on the contact. Go ahead and start it up. See that fuel filter? That fuel filter now is full fuel. You know. So that's with me holding that down. Now it's dead because I took that pick off of there, so the relay's no longer working. Now the fan's running constantly. So anyway, I think I'm pretty much done with this thing. I'll let him decide if he wants me to get a relay online. I know he has a couple other Geo Metro, so maybe he's got one. Maybe he already has a relay somewhere, I'm not sure. But I think I'm pretty much done with it. We found out what's wrong with it. It needs a fuel pump relay. You know, you may ask me why I wouldn't fix a bunch of other stuff on this. Well, he didn't ask me to fix He didn't ask me to fix anything else on it. And if I were to take this back in the shop and fix all the wiring problems that it has, or to go through it, it would end up costing him more than what the car's worth. He obviously knows about these issues because he's the one that did most of the wiring on this, or fiddled with it or whatever. So pretty much my job is done here unless he wants me to do something else to it. So and that's, again, a simple diagnosis, kind of a backyard mechanic thing to use this to jump the wires. But that's all I had. I'm on a mobile call here. That's all I had, not at the shop. Still, I got the job done. He jumped those 2 wires, and it filled that fuel filter up right away. So we knew right away that you give me that wiring diagram. We knew right away that at that point you're eliminating that the fuel pump was working. You could hear it working, so you're eliminating a lot of possibilities there. So I'm going to wrap this up. You give me that wiring diagram. So these cars are pretty simple. I don't know if you can see on this, but here's the fuel pump. So a single wire fuel pump goes to your fuel pump relay. This wire comes in, it's hot out. That's hot when you turn the key on. So what I did was jump this wire to this wire. It eliminates the relay and makes the fuel pump come on. Basically putting 12 volts to the fuel pump. This filled up with fuel. Now, obviously you got another wire coming in from the control module, and you got another wire here going to the fuel pump resistor and the fuel injectors. And we didn't mess with those wires. They did have power on them when we checked them, but what I did was just, like I said, I jumped it from the fuel pump to hot all the time, filled that up, and then just again, I took this case off the relay, put my pick on this contact, and that should activate all 4 wires, and then that's why it runs. So yeah, we're pretty much done. Like I said, I don't know. This little relay, we went to a couple junkyards. We couldn't find it anywhere. These cars are getting old. We actually didn't find, I think we found 2 Metros in there, and they were all 2000, 2001. So these cars are getting harder to find parts for. None of the auto parts stores around here stock the actual relay. And the 2 parts stores that I found that do have them, that can order it, they're both $50. So like I said, I don't know if he wants to do that or what he wants to do. If he wants to try to find it online or use or whatever. So at least I can go back to him, tell him what the deal is. And he can go from there. If he wants me to order it and fix it, I will. Or he may just he might have one, or he might try to find one on his own and put it in. So that's pretty much it. Another Hooptie back on the road as soon as he gets to that relay. Alright, so like I showed yesterday, none of the relays are in the box. So I got a wiring diagram and fished out the relay. And this is the fuel relay. So the solid pink and the black, this is the all-time ignition switch. And this is going to the fuel pump. And this is kind of a backyard way of checking this. I don't have all my tools with me, we're on the road here. But if you hook these 2 up and look at the fuel filter over there, it's actually filling with fuel. And you can hear the fuel pump in the back. And I checked the other wires, and they're all getting the proper, they're all getting voltage to them. So we're going to switch this relay out, and that should fix our problem. So go ahead and hit pause.
Which one's pause?
Just hit the record button.